Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
This live
Are you
talk.
ready?
Live
Are you
talk.
ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Hey, greetings and welcome to Live Talk. I am your host, Arthur Jeremiah, alongside my co-host today, Minister Samuel.
Hey, welcome back to Live Talk.
All right, as far as the spiritual ambassador, he won't be joining us today, or he'll be joining us a little later. But we're going to get right into, before we go into anything, we're going to go to our general statement and our disclaimer.
General statement. Live Talk is proudly powered by TBS Goodwill, Builders of the Highway Foundation, and Men of Purpose. Together, we're bringing about awareness to the everyday challenges facing individuals, communities, and our nation. We tell our stories, listen to yours, and always respect different perspectives. Want to share your voice? Email us at livetalkorl@gmail.com to be a guest, or if you would like to contribute to our mission, purpose, go to livetalkorl.com to give a donation. Disclaimer. Information provided during this event and others to come does not constitute the official opinion of Live Talk or its affiliate entities. It is strongly recommended that viewers seek independent expert advice regarding any topics discussed, as legal requirements differ significantly across jurisdictions and are subject to frequent changes. If you have questions or concerns, you can always email us at livetalkorl@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Facebook and or Instagram at Live Talk Orlando.
All right, family, we have to get that out of the way. Minister, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good for a Saturday morning. It's always a blessing to wake up and rise with the sun. So get some sunshine with the sun.
Indeed, I tell you, man. Yesterday was hot. It gave us a sign of what we're going to expect this summer. So get ready for it, because we're here in Florida. So
It's definitely coming.
right. It's coming, right? So I'm having a wonderful day, and I look forward to this show today because this is a topic that we oftentimes don't talk about. So I look forward to the show today. So let me just give you the rundown of the show today, family. First, we're going to have the minister word of today. Right after that, we're going to go to a short commercial break. And we'll come back with our main topic. Our main topic, we're going to talk about Black love and marriage, relationships. So that's going to be a very entertaining, and I would say we're going to share a lot of information during that part of the program. Right after that, we'll go to another commercial break, and we're going to come back. We're going to continue with this topic. Today, we don't have the spiritual ambassador. Normally, we'll transition or we'll shift gears during that time, but we're going to continue with this topic. And then we'll end with a motivational quote or reading from the host. So with no further ado, Minister, what is the word of today?
Well, the word of the day for April 2nd, 2026 will be dating. Based on our topic, our word today is going to be dating. And dating can be defined as a stage where two people get to know each other, explore mutual attraction, and assess whether they want to pursue a long-term relationship together. Dating can be the activity of going on dates, especially in the hope of finding a partner. It is an activity of spending time together, usually through planned social encounters with the intention of getting to know each other, often with a romantic or intimate purpose. And a note to be mentioned is that there are multiple types of dating, such as casual, exclusive, and online, to mention just a few of them. But for example, casual dating can be, to begin with, is generally low pressure, non-exclusive interactions focused on fun and getting to know multiple people. Whereas exclusive dating is a stage where partners agree to focus on each other, often preceding a committed relationship, compared to things like online dating, which is meeting potential partners through digital platforms, allowing exploration of multiple connections before an in-person interaction. Some synonyms are romance, courtship, going out with, escorting, and socializing. So the word of today, dating.
Hey, dating. Pretty sure we're going to talk a lot about that today. So we thank you for that word of the day, Minister. We're going to go to a commercial break and we'll be right back.
At NOY Store, we bring culture, style, and wellness all in one place. Explore our collection of cultural apparel designed to inspire and connect. From t-shirts to polos, boldly tell your story. Need guidance on your journey? Check out our books written to inspire and support your spiritual, personal, and community growth. And give your body the care it deserves with our health and wellness products like natural toothpaste, soothing body butters, and more. We're always adding new products to empower your life so you can live with purpose and style. Visit NOYstore.com today, where culture, wellness, and inspiration come together. Shop at NOY Store.
All right. Welcome back, family. And like I mentioned, we'll be getting into our main topic. And today I have two that's going to be joining me. But before we get into that and just introducing them, we talk about dating, relationships, and Black love all the time. But today we want to bring it to we want to have a real perspective from people who are actually living it right now. Not the highlight reel, not social media, but real marriage, real lessons, and real growth. So today we'll be sitting down with a newlywed couple to talk about what love actually looks like today. So joining us today is Jessica and Todd, Mr. and Mrs.
Glamad.
Glamad. Thank you. So we're here to talk about their experience and past relationships and some of the things that may have went wrong to bring them to where they are today. So first off, welcome. How you doing? Starting with you, Jessica.
Good, blessed. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Taj, how you doing, sir?
Well, I'm good and blessed and favored.
All right. So if you don't mind, just to break some ice, tell people a little bit about this.
Well, my name is Jessica Glamad. Been married for 3 months shy of a year now.
Okay, awesome.
I have a private business, and I also do administrative work for a installation company. And I like to serve Yahweh.
Oh, all right. God-fearing woman. Go ahead, Todd. Tell a little bit about yourself.
My name is Taj Glamad, Mr. Glamad. Been married, like she said, almost a year. We've been together for like 3 years now, going on 3 years. This is gonna be our first year anniversary coming up. I drive for Lynx. I'm a motor coach operator, and through that, I've get to experience different types of people all throughout my day. And one thing she left out, we do have our own podcast, the Open Book Podcast.
Oh,
that we
Oh,
have. So we
okay.
do drop episodes every Friday, and we can see one every week. It's called the Open Book Podcast.
Open Book Podcast. Make sure y'all tune into that. Is it on YouTube or
It's on YouTube.
YouTube? Okay. Let's make sure we make a note of that. The Open
Book Podcast.
Open Book Podcast. Awesome. Awesome. I'm pretty sure y'all talking about some hot stuff in that.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's all good. All right. So let's start simple. How did y'all meet? We might have two different variants of the story, right? Tell me how did
We
y'all
met
meet?
on a dating site. We met off of Facebook dating.
Okay.
So we when it came to me was I was looking for love. I was looking for a partner, and just going through a lot of hurt from my past relationships and stuff. I was really kind of iffy, and I just started looking one day on Facebook, and then I came across her picture, and I liked the picture. And I waited for a response. I wasn't sure if she was gonna respond, but one thing that drew me to her is her relationship with God.
Mm, okay.
And through reading her bio and stuff, I really saw that she had a relationship with God. I like things that going to the gym and stuff like that. All those things drew me to her. And when I clicked on her Facebook after we started talking, and I saw the food and everything, so I was sold out.
Right. Hey, that's how it is sometimes. That's good. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's somewhat similar, but
Yeah, pretty much what he said. So he messaged me on Facebook dating. So I was kind of like at the point where I was kind of like tired of like dating apps, but like
Mm,
nowadays we're like in such a social media world.
right.
People don't really like approach you in person anymore. And so I was just giving Facebook dating a chance. I had actually just got out of a relationship about 9 months prior before meeting him. And the guy that I was in a relationship with, I ended up breaking up with him. I found out he had a girlfriend that he
Goodness.
had hid. So I was
Mm.
kind of like done. But so when he messaged me, I actually was not gonna respond.
Ah,
But for some reason I end up responding anyway. And I seen on his profile that his age was younger than mine, but I thought he was older than what he was. And so I had asked him, I said, "Are you really 26?" At the time I think he was 26, right? At the time he was 26. And so he was like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Are you aware that I'm older than you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I like
Nah,
women
I was 25, trying to be 26.
Oh, that's what it
25,
was.
yeah. I thought he was older than that because
Okay.
on dating apps, a lot of times men will put that they're younger than their age
Mhm.
so that they can talk to younger women.
Right.
But he was like, "No, I'm really 25." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so he met like the threshing hold for me.
Gotcha.
I had this thing where I wouldn't date any younger or older than 5 years or whatever my
Gotcha.
current age is. And so we end up exchanging numbers and talking and things like that. And the first thing I noticed that he was like really, really kind. And so that's what kind of kept me wanting to get to know him more.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, Minister, you started this off with talking about casual dating. You talked about exclusive dating, and then you talked about online dating. So, based on what I hear, it started off like that, like more social media, online dating.
Mhm.
So now, who approached who when it got to that point?
Well, me, of course. Yeah, I was the pursuer. I kept pursuing her, and right away, after a couple of phone calls, I was ready to go ahead and meet in person. So we set a couple dates up, and we started dating from there.
Okay. Okay. So, what was your first impression of her, like seeing her in person?
Wow, she could dress.
Ah. And then, Jessica, what was your first impression of Taj?
So the very first time we met in person, I actually met his family.
Oh,
The
okay.
first time we
Oh,
met in
wow.
person.
Wow.
Yeah, and so my first impression of him was that he was really nervous.
Ah.
But come to find out, he wasn't nervous. He just a busybody and move around a lot.
Oh, that's what it is. So, and minister, I know
Yeah, let me.
I'm kind of jumping in there. I know you probably had something. I'll let you jump right on in there.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in because first of all, I definitely want to congratulate the two of you because you are a younger couple who took that step and got married, and you went through dating. So I really I want to applaud that because a lot of people don't take that step and don't see the value in it. But like I know that there's a whole lot of different datings, like online dating, casual dating. I mean, nowadays they got friends with benefits. As you all know, they got all kind of stuff going on. But the question is, I want to know when you all entered it, were you looking for, the intent was just to be casually dating? Were you looking for a longer term relationship? Or because nowadays that's what's I think is a little challenging because I know people can do stuff online and you can say anything, but until you really meet the person, how do you know what they put online or on the paper or even on the first date? So the question is, and I guess I'm gonna do it to Taj. What kind of dating were you looking for when you started?
I'm gonna speak on I'm gonna tell you about me, but I'm gonna tell you what I see too out there. So when it comes to me, I was serious about finding someone to build something with. I really wanted a partner that, we can build a family, we can motivate each other and build each other and go hand in hand. But there's a lot of people out there, they play games. You don't know how many people I went through before I found my wife. It's a lot of people play games. A lot of people just want to hook up. A lot of people just want to see how far they can go, if they can get money out of you, if you got a car, if they don't have a car, they want to abuse you. So it's all about selfish needs and desires. People just want to use you. So what drew me to her, like I told you again, was her relationship with God and how she carried herself. And also when I met her in person, the way she spoke and carried herself, and doing us talking throughout dating, she assured me of who she was and what made her stand out from the rest. Some people you can learn a lot from a person when they open their mouth and they speak, but you just have to be here to listen, have that ear to listen because people will tell you who they are as soon as you meet them or as soon as you start spending a lot of time with them, the truth does come to light. So you just have to be careful on who you choose. Now, when it came to me, um, I would say that I, like I said, my first choice it sh Jessica was not my first choice. I had a whole bunch of people that was messaging me, but she's the only one that I know for sure the fact that, I can put the dime that I want her. I wanna be with her. My intention was to get married. My intention was to build something for the future. Someone I could start a family with. A lot of people don't see that. A lot of people wanna play games, especially my age. A lot of people it's not with me.
I guess you had a follow up on that, minister. I had a follow up.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
At what point did you find out that this is serious? Like this is like it because you said prior to that it was like what 3 years before y'all got married, 2 or 3 years.
No, but after we got in we dated for a year,
Mhm.
made it official, then we got engaged for a year. Then this coming year, that'll be our first year of marriage,
Okay,
full marriage.
so before that, so when did you say, man, this is? And I'm gonna ask you this, Jessica. When did you say this is it? When did you realize that this is serious? Because you've been in other relationships, and like what Todd's saying, a lot of games. People playing a lot of games, and we know marriage is real. Like this ain't no game. So when did we find out that this is serious?
So for me, um, truthfully speaking, I think it was probably about once we got to a little bit over the 1 year mark of exclusive, where I was like, okay, this is serious, because at that point, that's when I think I want to say I remember that's when I really felt like I loved.
Mm,
And then we had went through some things already earlier on in our relationship. And I always tell people our relationship didn't start off like traditionally, like how when you first get with someone, it's like the honeymoon phase, everything is just all peaches and cream and dandy. We didn't start off like that. We had
okay.
some things go on. And so when we overcame them and we stayed together, that's what made me be like, okay, this
This
is
is it.
serious. Cause me, I'm a runner. Like if I see red flag or something that's like, okay, I ain't staying. You got 2 months top.
Mm,
But so with him, I stayed and, we worked through those things and now we here.
awesome. Awesome. And Taj, you already said it like a mouthful when you talk about a lot of games, people playing a lot of games. So I my assumption is seeing at that point in time that he wasn't one of those ones that playing games. So I need to buckle down and lock her down.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is, yeah, when I saw that and I need to buckle down, and I at one point I thought I almost lost her. I thought that she was about to leave because of something that came up, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" I was praying, man. I down there teared up that whole night. I was like, "Man, she ain't texting me back. She ain't
Oh,
calling me."
it was that serious.
I was like, "Lord help me, Yahweh help me."
So it just took a little time. I mean, it seemed like y'all grew over that time though, going
Mhm.
through those trials and tribulations. That a lot of times that's what kind of bonds, a person, a couple together. They go through the trials and the tribulation, and that's good. That's awesome. And then you started off dating. A lot of times people will get into a relationship based off of physical attractions and or off of conditions. You talked about that a little bit and I want to ask this question because we I said within our culture, there are many different cultures out there, and some cultures, marriage is based off of condition. If you do this here, I can do that. When you was thinking about going into this marriage, this relationship, was it based off of in any way conditions or was it unconditional? As far as I start with you, Jessica.
Honestly, when I went into the marriage, in my mind, it was like I really feel like Yahweh called me to be a wife. And so surprisingly enough, for most of my life, I was actually scared of marriage. I ran from marriage. It wasn't until I was about 25 or about 26 where I was like, I really feel like Yahweh want me to be married, because I just felt very led to prepare myself in those ways despite me not wanting to be married. And so I began to ask myself, why are you doing all these things to, like, how can I say this? Like,
Try
preparing
to
yourself for marriage and you don't want to be married.
ah.
Like,
So
it's
you going
innate.
through the preparation, you suiting yourself up, you putting the armor on and everything, and then then you
Yes.
run away.
Yes. Like I wouldn't be friends with men I was attracted to
Mm,
and things like that, abstinence and stuff like that. And so for me, marriage for me was about honoring Yahweh and feeling like I really do believe I could be a good helpmeet or an asset to a husband.
And I want to say something because I hear you talk about God and how you bring Yahweh in, and that's a beautiful thing because I think a lot of people get married for the sake of being married and don't really understand that relationship between God and the marriage. But something I heard earlier, and Jessica, I guess maybe you can take this one. I know being in relationships, a lot of times we have trauma or we have history, and that can come into the relationship and affect the new relationship, but it can also be a way of building on it. Like how did that work with you in your relationship with Taj? Did you did you have any healing or trauma that you needed to deal with? Or like I heard you say you all went through some things. Um, like how did you deal with it, or was that not even a factor?
So, I definitely had some trauma.
Mhm.
One of the traumas I had to do with physical touch. So I was actually molested by 3 people before the age of 18. And so I struggled with physical touch a lot. And when we were in our phase of getting to know each other, we talked about love languages. And one of the things that he said was his love language was physical touch. And I had told him, that's not my love language. And his response was, oh, so I guess I can expect to not get that from you. And I said, no, I wouldn't deprive you of something that you need, but I would have to work my way up into that. Now, I don't remember at this time if I had revealed to him situations about molestation and stuff like that. And so a lot of times, he would try to touch me, not anything like inappropriately, but it's like my body was interpreted touch without permission as violation. And so for a while, he used to believe that I was not attracted to him and I didn't like him because of that, even though I had already shared with him, hey, that's not my love language, but I'll work my way up into that. So now, I mean, things are much better now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But every now and then I do have to catch myself and be like, girl, this your husband.
Right,
Like you want to have a
right.
baby with him. So that was one of the things. And another thing that I can think of off the top of my head too was like control. So I don't really know the exact moment this became a thing for me, but I have this big thing with control. I don't like feeling like I'm being controlled. So um I know of people, of women who have been in domestic violence situations. Fortunately for me, I have never personally experienced that. But one of the things that they always say that they noticed first was that the man was very controlling. So I interpret control as, okay, next thing you gonna do is hit me. So now I'm like kind of on the defense. And then sometimes with him, it's not even a control thing. Sometimes it be rooted in logic, but my mind is like, is you trying to control me?
Right, right. Yeah, it's the past experiences that sometimes we have to get over, and one of the things you had to, bring back to consciousness is, and this is my husband at the end of the day, and you never been in this particular situation
Mhm.
before, that you trust in somebody to, be gentle to you, to protect you, to make sure that you're secured at all times. So it's letting loose and allowing that to just genuinely happen. And I get it. We all struggle with past experiences. Um, and I would like, Charles, is there any trauma? I like the question that Minister posed that
Yeah.
you dealt with.
So, I've had a lot of trauma. I've had trauma growing up. I had trauma, um, when it comes to dating. I'm gonna start first. So, growing up, everyone, I had a single mother before I had my stepfather, and her way of trying to keep me sheltered, keep me safe, was yelling at me and hitting me for everything that she didn't want me to take to the streets. So she saw that as her only option, raising a male child, that she thought yelling at him and raging, trying to keep me out of the streets,
Fear raising.
fear
They call
raising.
that, yeah.
So with me now, when I feel any woman raise their voice at me, or like it come outside of your head like, you know what I mean? Come outside of your head with, that's a trigger for me. It's a trigger, and I had a hard time figuring out that that was a trigger. I didn't believe in myself that I had that trigger, and then she would tell me, "Oh, you do get upset. You're not even listening. You just snapping." I was like, "Oh," and then until we went to premarital counseling, because we went to premarital counseling before we got married, and we had to learn the love languages, and we learned our triggers and what triggers us and how to communicate, because that's the main thing when you're in a relationship. You gotta learn how to communicate. But that, and then I had a fear of being cheated on.
Hmm.
It's a lot better now, but even with I gotta talk to myself in my mind, like when I'm at work, oh, that's my wife, because sometimes your mind, even though you prayed that thing away or you've gotten it, sometimes they come back stronger. Sometimes it tries that feeling, that urge, it comes back. So you gotta stay rooted in Yahweh, and keep at it, because you can't drop the ball, as those type of feelings, those things come back. So I've been cheated on multiple times, until I found my diamond here.
Diamond in the rough. Okay.
Taj, let me ask you, while you on that, when you came into, and just to say, I'm hearing that you all did a lot of the things right, because a lot of people bring their hurt and trauma into the relationship and don't recognize it, and then it makes it go bad. But did, like, with some of that, was Jessica aware? Like she said, she made you aware of hers. Did you make her aware of it, or did you try to deal with it on your own?
Through counseling and stuff that we had, it was made aware, because it was stuff that she was telling me and bringing to my attention. But at that time, as men, we kind of have an ego, and we don't know how to bow down sometimes, especially coming from that part with my mother and dealing with the not wanting to take telling from women. So I had to put myself in a place where I was able to receive word from my wife, because that's my partner. If I can't receive her encouragement, her words, and her knowledge, then who else am I gonna? That's supposed to be my partner. So a lot of stuff that we experienced in the beginning, I brought all. We had a lot of trauma. We had a lot of arguments. I'm gonna tell you, we had a lot of arguments. We had a lot of disagreements. We had a lot of nights we was upset at each other. But
Sure.
we never brought it
Right.
outside of the house, because and let no one in. None of our family knew nothing. We didn't give nobody no ammo or anything.
Good thing. Because you don't want to take that outside, because that's how others get into your relationship. And if somebody's single and telling you from a single mindset, now that can kind of just mess up your marriage
Oh,
totally.
and I had to even cut some friends off, because they were disencouraging me when it comes to things of marriage and things of my wife, and I had to cut them off. I had to let them go, because I had a group of men that, well, just two men really. They were my friends, but I had to let them go. I had to make a choice between my wife and them, because they were trying to encourage me in the things how I feel, and just encouraging me off of emotion, basically trying to relate off of hurtness and trauma, and they wasn't trying to change. So when I started changing, it became a problem for them. So I had to let them go. I had to make some choices to change for the better.
And I'm pretty sure, Jessica, you might have went through some of that same, choosing friends, choosing your husband over friends. Because it happens. If you were single and y'all, girlfriends hang out, once you get married, once you done told yourself, like, man, this is it, I'm finna do this. Um, a lot of times those around you in your previous circle may not
Mhm.
adjust to that. So have you kind of did the same thing in regards to that?
So as far as friends, I actually, before meeting him or at the time when I met him, I had a lot of male.
Okay.
Um, they were platonic friends, so um, but out of respect for him, I did have to let some of them go. Um, ones that I kind of felt like, they probably like me. So just out of respect. But as far as lady friends, I can honestly say that that is not something I experience with women. Like they don't try to encourage me to do bad things and behave like I'm single and knowing I'm married or I'm in a relationship that I'm taking seriously. But I just had to make sure that I was like being private, like when we're going through things, not sharing stuff with. And that wasn't really a challenge for me because I'm a private person anyway. But that was just the biggest thing, just being a little bit more private.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with me, well, when it came to my friends, my guy friends, like this is before we weren't even married yet, but this I used to brag about just because she was doing so much. I was like, yo, she's different from all the other girls. And I would go back and tell them, yo, she cooking for me, yo, these wings taste good. And then they would get mad and jealous at me for no reason. I'm like,
See?
and then I'm telling them, oh, I'm gonna surprise her with this, I'm gonna do this. And then they're getting mad at me because their girlfriend getting mad at them for
'Cause they ain't
what?
doing it.
Because they ain't doing it. I'm like, I'm just happy that I found me somebody.
Right.
So-
I mean, to be young and to be as young as you guys are, you know, in this day and age, when most people meet, they're not thinking about marriage or getting into or going to marriage. I remember when I first got married, and I'm gonna speak from a male point of view, and I'm gonna ask you from a male's point of view because marriage is serious. So when you thinking about like, it's almost like I would say it's equivalent. Might be a little bit more. I'm trying to think, Minister, what to compare it to. Like almost like going into a mortgage. Sometimes, like you have to think about this commitment. Like, did I sign this paper because I'm committed to these 30 years? Or you know, with marriage, I'm committed to this long term. Like this, the woman I'm gonna be with the rest of my life. Am I ready for this here? What type of fears you was going through? What was going through your head?
I never had those type of fears like that. I tell you that the only fear that I did have is, you know, I'm like, Lord God, if I make this commitment, I'm gonna take this step with her. I said, please don't allow her to cheat on me or do anything. Cause I'm like, Lord, this will crush me. I don't know if I'll ever date again or ever get with nobody again. I told her, I said, this didn't work out, babe. I'll becoming a monk, you know.
Get vulnerable. Well, let me jump in because Jeremiah, you said something to Taj, and it's part of that. What I'm hearing is, being vulnerable, because being in a relationship, you really do have to let your guard down. And like how Jeremiah was, what you said about marriage, it is like a mortgage. That's a good way to put it, because, or spiritually, it's a contract. And you do have to understand that contract is important. Like in business, when you sign a contract, there are things that you are required to do within that contract. And most contracts, if you don't meet certain things, you don't get certain things, or you can void that contract. And that's why I like with this show, we talking about Black love, especially amongst our younger people. They entering, at least what I see a lot of is because the world and social media can be a good thing, but what they portray in the hip hop culture, what you see on television, it's like a reality show. But then when I'm walking down the street and I'm looking in store, people are living their lives as if they're on a reality show, and it's not real. So for you all to be a young couple, look at it as a contract that you sign. Jessica, it's a beautiful thing that you haven't had to deal with that, but because marriage is a long-term thing, it's okay to have girlfriends, but do be mindful that single girlfriends may not give you the best advice as a married woman, because they're not into that contract. They don't have anything that they have to honor. They don't have anything that they have to lose. So taking the step, this is why we wanted to bring you all on, because it seems like you guys have kind of navigated a lot of the weeds that's out there. Like in order to get to the house, you got to go through a whole lot of weeds. But look like y'all made it to the porch, and both of y'all still got clean shoes on.
Indeed. And the reason I asked that question, Todd, is because I know when I was getting married, and one of the questions that I asked myself, because it is a real commitment, like what the minister just said. And I said, can I give her everything, all of me, which she deserves all of me? Can I give that to her? And that was one of the questions I had at the time, and I wasn't sure that I could do that. So I'm gonna ask you, as far as fear, what type of fears, Jessica, did you experience? Just going into this and knowing that it's marriage now. This ain't a relationship like a high school or a middle school relationship. This is a we talking about this is it. So what's saying at that time, you know, going through your mind, and what fears jumped out at you?
For me, I would say questioning, am I making the right decision? Because again, marriage it's a big deal. It's not like just boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all say, I don't want to be with you no more, and y'all go y'all separate ways. Like you're merging your life with someone else. You are becoming one. And this is the only relationship in your life where you go before Yahweh and you make vows to that person as well as him. And there's a scripture, and I think it's in Ecclesiastics about you make a vow to Yahweh, you got to answer to that vow that you made. You got to stick to it. He's going to hold you to it. And so, for me, I was scared of like, okay, I'm making this vow before Yahweh. What if I'm making this vow before Yahweh with Yahweh and him to the wrong person? And it wasn't because I actually felt like he was the wrong person. It's just a what if. And so, and also the same thing with the cheating.
Yeah.
That's not really something I think about, but it is something that I have experienced, unfortunately. And it's something that I've seen a lot of. And so for me, that's like a really, really big deal. Like it's like to me, it's like the ultimate form of betrayal you can do to your spouse. And so I'm very much against it, doing it as well as receiving,
Right.
being on the receiving end of that. So I think those were probably the two biggest fears that I had when it came to going into marriage.
And I know y'all went through marriage counsel. Minister, I don't know if you was a part of any of that as far as the counseling part. But like even going
Not directly.
indirectly. Okay.
Yes, not directly, but indirectly.
Okay. But as you know, if it wasn't shared with you, when you get married to the person you know at that moment. But throughout time, we all change. So that's that's why when they do the statistics, they talk about marriage lasting, 3 years, 5 years, 10. Oh, if you made it to 5 years, you guys are good. You made it to 10 years, y'all are great. Because we know people are changing. And in the beginning, because you talked about some things that you went through, did you have to change and grow, like to get to that point where now I can say I do? What changes did you have to make to get to that point, Tarzan? Start with you.
I had to learn to humble myself. I had to learn, try to listen more and kill my ego. Because as men, we get caught up in being the man and just wanting to lead. But to lead, sometimes you gotta listen so you can know where she needs you to lead in, what area she needs to guide her in, and how to motivate her and how to keep the house in control. What is being asked of. And a lot of us, including me at first, I was only listening to part of what she was saying and I did what I thought was best. So it's really making and working together and doing what's best for both of us by considering the other party as well as a lot of us only focus on self. Now a lot of us these days only focus on what's in it for me. But it's not you no more. You made a commitment. You're in a marriage, so it's about both of you. It's proper communication, um, figuring out what she wants and what I want, and then middle. A lot of people don't know how to do that when it comes to marriage or any relationship period. So that's what I would say when it comes to that.
That's unconditional because see, you was basing certain things. A lot of times we do off of condition. So he needs to do this here, or he needs to do this here. That's a condition. If we married this person for who they are, then we accept them for who they are. We don't try to change them per se, although, like I mentioned, over periods of time, we have to change to just meet the needs of one another. Now, I ask you the same question, Jessica. What did you have to change or grow into in order to get to that point to say I do?
Well, one of the biggest things that I had to work on going from being independent to because although I had been in prior relationships, none of them were like really serious, and most of them were actually kind of short term. So I spent a lot of my adult life being single and not having to answer to nobody. So when we had, first got together and started getting serious, um, I would do certain things and I wouldn't tell him. And I didn't think it didn't occur to me that that was a big deal because I'm used to not answering to nobody.
Right.
And so that is something that he constantly had to point out to me. Hey, you're not a single woman. You operating like a single woman, like there's no one else here. It's not just you anymore. And so that was a real challenge for me. It was a real challenge, but I can say that I'm much better now at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because you talked about control.
Yeah.
That was one of the experiences. That was one of the things that you went to as far as trauma. That you had to get past. You're probably still dealing with that now. I'll say, oftentimes we deal with certain things from the past as far as trauma, and we think is over with. We think it's done until moments occur, and boom, it pops right back up. And sometimes you won't even know it. And because you guys know one another now, you can always now point that out and say, hey, you remember you talked about your childhood trauma. You, right now you're expressing that at this moment,
Mhm.
and I think that's the good thing about it as well. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Todd.
what I was thinking about, I even with me, I had a little bit of control in me too. Wanted to control everything. I even kind of broke it down. The Lord was brought it to me and I broke it down. I broke control down in three. I broke down passive, emotional, and direct. So when you're doing emotionals, when you're trying to manipulate somebody emotionally, and then the passive is just you're doing it indirectly without knowing or withholding stuff. And then direct is like you're just doing it regardless, just because you want to get your way. So I've been working a lot on that too, because like I said, you have to learn how to communicate with your partner.
Right.
And no one's perfect. Our relationship is not perfect. We do have, our ups and downs, but for the most part, we're unified, and with one purpose, and that is growth in God.
Minister. Well, let me say, let me ask a follow-up. Minister, you had anything before I follow
I was
up?
very yeah, real quick, and I don't if you need to switch to subject, but because Taja kind of mentioned it, and I know part of that thing I know we have in our communities, rebuilding the trust, building trust back, and being able to really honor relationships, especially, and it's not just young people, but it's older people too. The thing with the infidelity, the cheating. Um, if you Jessica, if you can speak, what did you do? What do you bring, or what would you say to help, you know, to bring that part of trust into the relationship?
Um, it can you expound on that a little more as to are you saying
Yeah.
like if a person cheats, how do you regain trust or how do you not go into the relationship worried about that? Explain a little bit more.
Well, I want to go to the beginning, getting into it, not worrying about it, because I hear a lot of people say everybody does it. And they do it. They'll say they're gonna get married, but it's almost like they're expecting it, and then when they're in it, they're expecting it. So am I a relic? Is that true, or can that, or you go seek to overcome it? Not that it can't happen, but I hear from especially a lot of younger people as if that's almost normal.
So, I don't think everybody cheats. Um, what we got to understand is that you don't get what you want, you get what you prepare for. So if you have in your mind that your partner is going to cheat on you and they have not done anything to make you believe that, you can be manifesting that happening.
Live on camera.
And so, I think that we have to give people a chance and make sure that we are not projecting our insecurities and fears
Let me real quick.
onto other people.
All right.
Right. So we have to make sure we're not projecting our insecurities and fears onto other people. Again, I don't believe that everyone cheats. I think that's a very dangerous mindset to have. And we have to be careful about who we're listening to. There's a reason the scripture says to keep thy heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life. Because you listening on social media, especially all of these broken people getting this big platform to speak to the masses of the world, convincing everybody that everybody cheat. Women ain't this, men ain't that. And now you angry and thinking everybody cheaters, and it may not even ever even happen to you. But because you keep feeding that into your heart and your mind, now you're going into every relationship jaded for no reason. And so I just think we have to be very intentional and mindful about what we listening to. And we have to just have discernment when it comes to getting to know people, and take your time and pay attention to what they're showing you in the beginning, because what they're showing you in the beginning, there is a possibility that that can grow and become worse. And so not feeling like if a person has showed you something that you can change them, accept them by how they are. And if you can't accept them, then you just go the other way.
Right.
Okay, I want to tag team off the wife here. So she's right. Not everybody cheats, but everybody has the ability to cheat. So you gotta prepare properly. Know what you get yourself and know what you want. If you want to be married, you have to start building up that resentment, or that if you're weak in an area, when you know you're weak to lustfulness, or you weak to that certain type of spirit or things, you need to commit to, like, getting help. Or if you're not getting help, submit to God and pray, and just, you don't wear certain things that make you feel that way or entice you, or watch certain things, or if certain things make you arouse or put those thoughts in your head, because some people have those thoughts in their head. Sometimes people get overwhelmed with that lustful spirit. It could be the time of the night. It could be what you're wearing. It could be something you see on Instagram, social media. Because sometimes social media, it'll just pop up out of nowhere, and you don't got no control. I said some of the people at my church, they said social media is the devil. Yeah, so you gotta be careful, because it'll just pop out of nowhere. And it's just because they just want to be screened. They wanted you to click on it, and it opens up this whole other tab. And then sometimes that could cause arguments that you don't even know. Because I'm like, I ain't really click
Right.
on that. I'm just on Facebook scrolling, and then that just pop out of nowhere. And you see people sending you all types of spam messages and all. So you got to be very aware, and just stay away from those stuff that promotes those type of things, because we're not fighting against flesh, we're fighting against spirits and principalities. So we have to be more aware and wise when it comes to certain things. And as a black couple, and you're looking to get further, this will help you. It will truly help you.
Okay. You know, you talked about Patient. I want to go back to that because when people normally hear communication, the ideal is you say something, I say something, and we're communicating. But that's not true communication, depending on how it's coming out, because you can be speaking at me, not to me, right? Or you can speak to me and then I can listen to you, and then vice versa. You can listen to me and then we can receive one another. That's a form of true communication. You guys been together long enough that not she don't have to say too much out of her mouth, but just through her movement, like the things that she do and how she may do certain things, that's a form of communication. What type of communication that you receive from her other than her actually saying words that okay, um, she's saying this here, or I need to do this here. I need to go to Macy's, or I need to go, and get her this nice red dress.
When I see that face change and she just start moving and pacing up and down, I was like, oh, she want me to see her. I know when she upset. With certain things, it just ain't the same.
Right.
And when we locking bathroom doors and stuff, and when we not talking and we just plugging in phones, and I was like, okay, something wrong. All right, babe, we need to talk? Is something wrong? Or if we're in a car, she just get quiet.
Mm.
So I said, are you okay? Is there something that we need to talk through? Is something I said? Is there something that I threw off? Because you have to figure out the reason. I had to learn this because in the beginning, when she did like that, when she operated like that, or she got upset in that way, I used to get upset, and it was like we were bumping heads,
Right.
and I was like, I understand, it's a relationship, and one of us has to give, but at the same time, I'm the man, and Yahweh called me to be the leader. So when it comes to loving your wife like how Christ loved the church, it's a difference. It's called sacrifice. You got to sacrifice a lot in your relationship. When you want to communicate, you got to sacrifice. So with me now, what I do is I said, "Hey, baby, is there something I did wrong?" And if she doesn't want to talk in that moment, I let her calm down, and then we talk it out. Or well, I'll bump her and we'll start laughing, and then we'll go into where we're both in that we're not angry, we're not upset, and then we can talk it out. But if we're both at here and it's no peace, and then it throws off the entire week. One day can throw off your entire week. And I experienced that at the beginning of our relationship where we just couldn't understand each other. I'm like, man, like why, God, like why is this happening? And I used to be like, I'm like, man, this just keep happening. We going back and forth, and I'm like, man, until like I really just sat down and I was like, you have to show you have to show her love. So in the midst of that, I still have to be meeting her where she wants to be nurtured. She wants to be loved. So I gotta meet. It's okay for us men to be vulnerable. A lot of men don't want to be vulnerable,
Right.
and that's what sets certain type of men apart from the rest. You don't have to be aggressive all the time. You don't have to be. You can leave that worldly stuff and pick it up at the door when you're going to work and stuff. But when you're in your home, you're supposed to be at peace, and your wife and your family need you. You got to show up.
And that kind of lead me to one of the things I was going to say around men. Men don't cheat. Jessica, men don't cheat.
That's right. Men
That's
don't
right.
cheat.
Men don't cheat. And just like women don't cheat.
That's right.
So we have to understand that, because when you find the attributes of a man and understanding that, see, you should be able to see Yahweh in him. You should be able to see him. And likewise, you should be able to see Yahweh in her. Because that's our first commandment, is to love him with all our heart, right? If
right.
if he's in you, then I give you all my love, right? And that's what it's all about, when it comes to marriage, because we know who we're truly committing to. We're committing to the Most High.
That's right.
And I need to be able to see him in you, So that's one of the things I want to kind of touch on. I want to leave that with our audience as well. When you find you're a real man, you ain't got to worry about him cheating on you. You find you're a real woman, you ain't got to worry about him cheating on you. But we're gonna go to a commercial break, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna complete everything because I want to stay right here. But we need to take a break, and we'll be right back.
What do all these people have in common besides a beautiful smile, healthy teeth, and gums? They all use Zodi toothpaste. Zodi toothpaste is made with all natural ingredients. Zodi toothpaste is fortified with moringa and baking soda. Zodi toothpaste is suds-free, making it an excellent choice for kids. All natural, fortified, and suds-free. Get yours today at noystore.com.
Because Scott & Associates always treats me like family, I refer my family to them. So when preparing for my taxes and I know exactly what to bring in coming in, it makes the process so much easier. Anyone should hire Scott & Associates because they are professional, respectful, and very knowledgeable. And with all of my heart, I can always count on them.
All right, so welcome back. We are still here with Jessica and Taj, our newlyweds. And we're just talking about, Black love and relationships. And it's been a beautiful conversation with you guys so far. And I know, Minister, you may have some questions that you still may have on your from. You want to go ahead and step in with that, or want me to continue?
Yeah. It's more of a comment and what I like, because we're talking about Black love and having younger couples. And the reason I'm excited about their relationship is part of, like I heard Taj mention, that the relationship that Christ is supposed to have with the church and the way a man is supposed to have with his wife. And we're supposed to be examples of that. And going into your marriage, you need to be living examples so young people, heck, even older people can see that this is a reality thing. Like a lot of you're not supposed to just read your Bible. You're supposed to live it. You're not supposed to just talk about a marriage. You're supposed to live it. And I think that's a good thing. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted you all to come on, because you do exhibit the characteristics that's required for a successful marriage.
Oh, give a round of applause for that.
Thank you very much.
No, that's huge. That just means people from the outside can see the beauty of your relationship. And we often, as a community, we want to pour into that. We want to keep it thriving. And especially like Minister been married over 25 years. So you're talking about experience. There's, living experience there. I believe I've been married maybe 20 years or something like that. And that's experience. And we all been through some struggles, to get to that point, like I said, that 10-year point, to say like, I beat all odds and statistics. I think what it is, Minister, 5 years, 3 years. Is it 3 years or 5?
Five. We pushing it to say 5.
Okay.
For me, it's been 37 years. But Taj, I want to think I heard you say it. No marriage is perfect, but you work on it every day. And people need to understand that. So don't be discouraged. A marriage requires work, but the benefits way outweigh because it's one of them things when you put something in, you put in one, but you get 3, 4, 5 times out what you put in. But it does require work. This is not, Disney where things are just perfect. You got to make the scriptures say, be ye therefore perfect. That means you're supposed to, work on making it perfect.
And I think it's just a part of us. And I know, like, so you're here, happy wife, happy life. I don't know if I'm a big, that I believe in that wholeheartedly. And the reason I say that is this: I think both of us have to be happy. We have to be able to make each other happy. And I get the notion behind that's being said, because it makes things better in the bedroom at the end of the day. Oh, we're on an adult show, right?
Yes.
So it's like happy wife, happy life. What can I get for you, baby? So no, that's just a part of, but we the happiness comes, it has to be both of us, contributing to that happiness. But I oftentimes talk about true happiness comes from within, and you have to be happy within yourself in order for you to receive. Like anything else is a bonus outside of it. But if you're happy within yourself, and you're doing all the right things that you know you should be doing, then nothing outside of that should make you or should take away your happiness. So first start, it does start with yourself first. And it seems like you guys have made some changes to get to the point where you are right now. So you had to fight the ego, and the ego always flare up, man. I'm telling you, moments that you have to check that ego, especially from a male's point of view. We always checking the ego. So anytime like we're going through fear and we're thinking about things that we shouldn't do or ought to do, like we have friends and they're telling you this, and man, you soft, or man, why are you doing all that stuff there? It's like, hold on, bro, this is my wife. So whatever I do for my wife is what I do for my wife.
Oh no, why men get mad at you for getting your wife flowers? Oh Lord.
So at this time, I mean, I was, what's been your biggest adjustment up to this point here? Your biggest adjustment, and I know you done talked about a whole lot of different things, but just getting past that point of that ego, man, and just fighting against that ego, and just the ideal of just being vulnerable. What's been the biggest adjustment that you can think of?
Letting her in, my inner feelings, my inner thoughts. Sometimes it don't even have to be her. It could be something that you thinking about or something that's been put in your mind. Sometimes men allow their imagination to get out of control sometimes. And sometimes you can make stuff up that's not real. And then you can create potential warfare in your home by just imagining something that ain't even there. So that's why it's important to unwind and communicate with your partner. Find out how each other's day is going. Find out, just never forget to tell your partner that you love them, and just encourage love and peace throughout the house. I'm blessed. I have a wife. We worship together. We pray together. We go to feasts together. We do almost everything together. And our bond has gotten stronger. I can't say that we didn't have a rocky start. Lord, no, we had a rocky start. Sometimes she be making me crazy, man. Be like, oh Lord, this woman.
Stop moment, right?
Yeah, I had to take a woosah moment, man.
I think we all need to take those moments at times, because anger can flare up when you're dealing with the opposite. As we have our own individual mindset and what we want, and that's the biggest thing when you invite a person in your space, I would say, and things are not going the way that I used to do things before that person came into your space. But that's the part of telling that, allowing yourself to understand that it's just not about me anymore. I brought this person in, and I want to also care for this person as I care for myself. But that's one of what scripture says as well.
One question you need to ask yourself is, what your partner is asking you, is it too compromising? Is it too much to give them what they want? It's sometimes it don't really cost nothing to meet her halfway, because we tend to get caught up in our ego, caught up on ourselves, and like, but this is what I want to do. But it's been about you for a while. It's time to, how about both of you get something out of it, and that's the way you can keep peace in your home, because a lot of a lot of warfare, your biggest enemy is yourself. A lot of people don't see that your biggest obstacle in life is yourself. When the Lord telling you to do all this other stuff, he first tell you to deal with yourself. You can't judge other people and point fingers at other people without first dealing with yourself, dealing with your insecurities, dealing with your heart, dealing with you. And true love comes from, dealing with yourself. And then now you can then share that love and it can illuminate through you and your partner.
And that's scripture. So when it's saying that the first commandment is to love the Lord thy God with all thy mind, heart, and soul. But the second is like unto that, thou should love thyself. Thou should love thy neighbor as thyself. But the part of that is loving thyself. Because you can't love nobody until you love you. So because you won't know how to love her if you don't love yourself. So, we have to take that step by step, understanding that that's scripture. That's what we follow as God-fearing man, God-fearing woman. How guys support each other emotionally? Those times occur.
I don't support my husband emotionally. Well, first by seeing what he needs from me specifically, because I think sometimes we will help in the way that we want to, instead of the way that our partner is telling us that they need help. And so if he's going through something or he come to me and he's like, babe, I need to vent. Okay, babe, I'm going to sit there and listen and I'm going to allow him to vent. Because what he said was he needed to vent. He didn't say he needed advice. He said he needed to vent. Then I may ask, are you venting or are you seeking for advice? Whatever he says, then that's what he gets. And two, it's also just about knowing him. Like I can, just like how he was saying with me with my body language, I know when something's off with his body language too. If my husband not quiet, I'm the quiet one. He not quiet. So if he's quiet, he either deep in thought or something bothering him. So I'm gonna ask, hey babe, you okay? How you feeling? How was your day? Are you upset about something? And then he'll usually open up. And if he doesn't want to open up, no, babe, I'm okay. I'm just gonna play my game or do whatever. Okay, babe, you need anything here? So just making sure I'm giving him what he needs in those moments and not necessarily what I want to.
Because going out in the world, we know we're going to deal with mess every day, especially going on. Like you say, you drive Link bus, you dealing with a lot of different mindsets that's coming on to this
Yeah,
earth. So,
it's just not mindset, spirits too, man.
Right.
All these type of stuff. I was just telling my pastor this morning. I was like, Pastor, I don't know how you do it on the pulpit, because if you be feeling all these spirits, I was like, I feel it when they get on the bus. I was like, they be driving me crazy.
now I ask you the same question. How do you support?
Just likewise to what she
Okay.
says, but I know the main thing she likes when she's feeling down, she likes that closeness. So she won't want to cuddle, or she want me to hold her or comfort her. Or my one of her love languages, receiving gifts. I would go get her some flowers and a gift, and I would try to surprise her and try to make it up to her and kind of really lessen her load. So things that she would normally do, I would take over to give her that time to recuperate and get back into feeling herself.
Now, I'm gonna ask you this here. Menace, you had anything?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to put this one in there for both, and I guess I can start with you, Jessica, because you oftentimes people say that, oh, the reason they don't want to get married is that, well, when you get married, things change or they change. Now that you are married, is there any truth to that? Did it change in a negative way, a positive way? But people say that. Now, I don't know if they married and theirs changed, but I hear it. Now that you are there, what would you say about now that you're married? Did it change?
Yes, some things changed. Things have gotten better. Fortunately, things have gotten better. Um, Change is a part of life. There's seasons and times for all things. When you're getting married, scriptures say a man is supposed to leave and cleave and become. That is something, become one flesh. That is something that is a process that you are going to do. So in marriage, you should be changing. You should not get married and then once you're married, in that season when you got married, you stay like that for the rest of the marriage. That means that there is no growth. Like he said, and what you said, minister, no marriage is perfect. You're constantly working at it. Things is supposed to change. I think it's an unrealistic expectation to think that things is going to be perfect all the time. Nothing's going to change. What if there's a death in a family and your spouse goes through a season of depression? Are you going to leave because it changed and it's not the honeymoon phase no more? That's unrealistic. So, yes, we experience change. Like I said, it's been for the better. And then, of course, there'll be seasons where it won't feel so good. But at the end of the day, we made a commitment to one another and a covenant between one another and Yahweh. And so that's what we're going to stick to.
Tag me in, babe. Tag me in. Okay. All right, here we go. We tagged him with this one. All right.
I like that.
So most people that you hear that say they have issues once they get married, those come from you not taking care of the issues before you get married.
Mm.
So when you have you don't know each other triggers and you don't take time to know each other and you don't take time to deal with family issues, family problems, you don't take time to deal with each other's problem and not really figuring out who your partner is. Once you get married, it amplifies.
Right.
Yeah, because it's just something about when you say I do. I don't know that that's one of the devil's punishment, but he bring down the hammer, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you don't deal with y'all don't deal with everything first and go through the proper counselings and proper healing before you say I do, it will show up within the first couple of months of your marriage. And then some people within those first couple of months, they're ready to throw in the towel because it gets real hard because they ain't going nowhere. I get told if y'all get in an argument, you come over here, you're gonna get 2 sandwiches and get sent right back home.
I'm gonna work it out.
You gonna have to work it out. Divorce is not an option.
Right.
So you gotta go with that mindset. It's not an option. You gotta work it out. We gotta talk it out. We gotta come up with solution and a plan. And maybe sometimes set a boundary. Boundaries are good. A lot of people don't like setting them, but they are really good. Even God himself set boundaries. We have land in the sea, the sky in the sea. So boundaries is good. A lot of people are scared of boundaries, but boundaries make healthy relationships. And when you set certain boundaries, it protects not only you and your partner, but it protects everyone else and it protects your peace. So you have to first deal with those insecurities and those stuff first before you get married. So you cannot experience those warfare. But if you're already in it, just keep pushing through it. It'll get better.
You know what? I think you answered the question that I was. Married, and maybe newlyweds and didn't know how to handle that. What does healthy love look like?
Healthy love. I would say just healthy love is, I would say it's abundance of love, endless. I would say that love is patient, love is kind, love never gives up, and love is everlasting. So if your love does not fall in those fruits of what the Lord has given us, then that ain't truly love. We got to define what is love and lust, because lust can lead you to be attracted to somebody, but once those type of emotions and feelings disappear, and there's no love there and there's no connection, everything disappears.
Well said. Well, we coming to the end of this program, and I give you guys the last word. What do you want to share with anybody out there that may be thinking about getting married, newlyweds that you found out, you know, in your marriage that can probably help them benefit?
I would say kind of just what he said. If you're considering marriage, do the work on yourself first, because once you get married, you're going to have to deal with your problems and theirs. And so now you got double the problem. Another thing I would say, of course, you got to keep Yahweh at the center.
Mhm.
Like, somebody may say that's cliche, but no, I am telling you, you got to keep him at the center of your marriage. And if you don't have a relationship with God, the Most High, I would suggest establishing one before you enter into a covenant with him and somebody else. And thirdly, the last thing I would say is seek wise counsel. The scripture says, in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. That's some truth. That is very true. We have counselors still to this day. The people before we had premarital counseling, we had counselors.
Right.
And now that we married, we still have those same counselors. And just make sure that whoever those counselors are, that y'all principles and foundations align, because you don't just want counsel from anybody, because their counsel may lead you astray and cause more damage in your relationship. You have to make sure that y'all principles and foundation and things like that align.
Preferably rooted in God.
Yes, indeed. Minister, want to sign off, sir?
Yeah, I just want to say this because I'm an eternal optimist when it comes to marriage, because I'm a big promoter of marriage. So far, I hear, because we hear this stuff, but I like to be positive that there's no good men out there. Well, guess what? Jessica found her a good man.
That's
And
right.
Taj, he found him a virtuous woman. So all you have to do is seek, and ye shall find.
That's right.
Indeed. And I'll leave you with this here. You know, Black love is still strong, as you can see, but it requires intention, it requires patience, and it requires growth. So I say from the host, Peace and Prosperity, and from Live Talk, we are out.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you for watching Live Talk. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Talk Orlando. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit on the notification button so that you can see more videos like this. You want to join the show? Email us at livetalkorl@gmail.com. You can also follow the host on Facebook and Instagram at Arthur Jeremiah. And visit the website, thenoystore.com, to pick up your copy of The Spiritual Significance of a Name.